This is Cosmic.
Here we go. This RS4 is my personal car. I bought it about 12 months ago after owning a Ford Mustang, and I have never looked back. This car is absolutely amazing. Audi RS4 B7 is, in my opinion, the best Audi RS4 they have ever built. You can't really fault its 4.2 V8 or its manual gearbox or its quattro system and its beautiful simple body with wide arches. While we are looking for a B-road, let me tell you a little bit about this RS4. I have owned it for about 12 months. I have done few modifications to it, one of them being Koni suspension, straight through exhaust, cold intake, and few other slight modifications to do with fuel injection. All of that means that this car is now producing close to 500 horsepower. Let's drop into second. Get the revs to 4,500 RPM. Put your foot down. Jesus. It also handles very well indeed. Drop the gear down. It's a proper driver's car, this. Drop the gear down. Foot flat on pedal. Corner coming up. Down into third. There we go. Whoa. Here we go. Here's the corner. Whoa, sliding. The rear end sliding. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. Back into second. Give it some welly. Whoop. Ah, brake. Brake. Corner. Brake. Whoa. Whoa. This car just wants to be driven. Right. Well, that was exciting. So, as you saw probably from that video, this car has some power, but also, unlike other high-performance cars which only have a front-wheel drive or the rear-wheel drive, this quattro system is fantastic. And as a result, you can take a corner at almost any speed, which in itself, it's a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing being, you can be confident to drive this car fast. The bad thing is, you can get it wrong and overdo it. And there's a lot of RS4s which have been written off, wrapped around a tree somewhere or somewhere in the bushes. And due to this, there isn't many left in the UK, there isn't many left in the US. And I think right now is the best time to buy and own one. Because from what I have seen, the prices of these keep going up. Typically these cars would come with a DRC system, which is, in my opinion, a bit outdated and a little bit too slow. So this particular car sits on Koni suspension, which has been designed purposely for the RS4. And from what I can tell, having the car on both DRC and Koni, I definitely feel that Koni is better. Koni suspension is softer, you might be surprised to find, but around corners it stiffens up, it makes more sense. So what is it like driving and living with this car? Well, driving, it's fantastic. Every time you get in the car, you feel alive. You get an adrenaline from just being in it. I don't know how it happens. It also sounds very mechanical, unlike Audi S4, which suffer from snapped chains, This car hasn't got that problem, or at least I haven't heard that any of them have snapped. It's a very, very low maintenance car, but if something does go wrong, it's going to cost you. Now these cars also suffer with carbon buildup, so unless they're driven properly and revved hard, they end up with clogged up manifolds, clogged up valves, which reduce the performance a lot. But not only that, it might even clog up the engine to the point that it doesn't start. So if you think of owning one, keep an eye out for that. Brembo brakes, they are very good, but replacing them will cost you best part of £2,000. On miles per gallon, it's around 20. After all, these are high performance cars, and you know, with high performance cars, they need regular maintenance, especially the oil. Fuel filters, air filters need to be done on regular intervals if you wanted to keep this engine alive and running at its best. Another thing I really like about this car is that now I'm in 6th gear doing 40 miles an hour, and it's not noisy. It's not intruding. The Mustang that I had before this would give me a headache driving at 30 miles an hour, and yet this doesn't. You can't hear it. You can still have a conversation with your passenger if you want it. Imagine that. Or if you wanted to listen to a bit of music, you can do that too. Okay, so here we go. A 2nd gear pull, doing 35 miles an hour. Put my foot down. And we are at naughty speeds instantly. This car just grips and grips and grips, and it keeps pulling me. My neck muscles are straining. This car is savage. The way it changes gears, the clutch, is just savage. Being the naturally aspirated engine, the power is there. As soon as you touch the pedal, it's there. And due to this, I think people love this car more than they would have if it was turbocharged. And I know you might be thinking, oh, what are you talking about? There's a lot of faster cars than the Audi RS4. And yes, you'll be right. There is. There's a lot of turbocharged cars with a lot smaller engine, which are faster than this car. You might be thinking of Subaru Impreza. You might be thinking of Mitsubishi Evos. And yes, they're all good cars. But the way this one makes you feel, I think it's special. The interior of this car, in my opinion, is beautiful. It's simple, it's functional, and it's well built. It's German after all. Some would say that it's maybe old now, that it's aged. After all, this car is 12 years old. But I don't think that's the case. It comes with Bluetooth, DVD, sat-nav, CD, SD card reader, MP3, climate control. It comes with bucket seats which are adjustable and heated. Rear seats are also heated. It comes with a flat bottom steering wheel, which back in its day was, I guess, unique for a car like this. You have to remember that this is a family saloon. And yet, it might look a lot like an A4, but it doesn't share a lot of the panels with the A4. In fact, from what I read online, is that the only panel it actually shares is the roof. And you can see that. The first thing that you notice when you drive an Audi RS4 is how planted it is and how well it's built. I have driven many cars. Not a single one of them has made me feel like this. So this RS4, in a sense, does everything really well, which is unusual, because you usually have a fast car that isn't comfortable, doesn't have the space for your family, that is really low on miles per gallon, really expensive to look after. Or you have a family car which isn't that fast or that exciting, and yet this does both of those things really, really well. I really hope you have enjoyed the video. It's the first one on the channel. There's some really cool cars coming up, so stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.